Can you sue a private investigator for doing his job? And you want to do what to your dog? Find out on this.
And this is What the Law, where...
No, I'm doing it, where I answer your legal questions. Kypro Smile from Instagram asks, what is international law?
Oh, that means there's no laws on a boat.
No, you're thinking international waters, and that's also just not true. International law involves the laws between nations, like how nations interact with other nations and their citizens and businesses. Think of it like a broad set of rules that dictate how we all play with each other.
Oh, so I guess I did break some laws on that cruise ship.
Now this next question has a video. Oof, that's terrible.
His question better not be, do you guys want to carpool later?
IG user Kwardeep Sidhu asks, what's your opinion on this video? Who's at fault? I guess it's a Tesla guy because he came in front of the Sonata guy and pushed the brakes, am I right? No. I don't even need to do a bunch of analysis here. The person who is at fault is clearly the guy driving the most recklessly.
Oh yeah, Malcolm's razor.
Occam.
Bless you.
Geo Diaz03 from IG asks, what if you're a fourth waiver and get pulled over?
Mike, what's a fourth waiver?
Basically, in order to be put on parole, probation, or released on bail, you're asked to waive your Fourth Amendment right that protects you from improper search and seizure.
Oh, that feels like it shouldn't really be allowed.
The idea is to make sure they are staying lawful to their parole or probation.
So if he gets pulled over, he's screwed.
Pretty much. If this applies to you and you get pulled over, they don't have to have probable cause to do a search. They can just do it.
Mike, what is that?
Looks like we have our first follow-up question.
Okay, but can we please get a better alarm noise than that?
Nope. Last episode we talked about Miranda rights, and that led to some follow-up questions like these.
Mike, what's happening? Make it stop!
So what did the Supreme Court say about Miranda rights?
Oh yeah, they don't have to say them anymore, right?
No. If you remember last episode, we talked about how reading your Miranda rights allows officers to obtain evidence against you based on what you say to them. Not reading your Miranda rights when they're supposed to means they usually can't use what you say against you.
Yeah, but it's not a get out of jail free if they don't read them, right?
Exactly. Well, sometimes cops don't read the rights, and people would sue the police for money, claiming that not reading your Miranda rights is a violation of a constitutional right.
God, I just love litigation.
Don't we all? Well, what the Supreme Court essentially ruled is that a violation of Miranda rights isn't a violation of the Constitution.
But now we just can't sue the cops for not reading our rights? Wow, cops hate consequences.
Tell me about it. But cops still have to say them, and if they don't, then your statements may not come in as evidence in your criminal trial.
You know, you could have saved us a whole lot of time by just saying you can't sue the cops for not reading your rights in the beginning.
Where's your sense of suspense? Now on with the show. Anthony C. from Facebook asks, can you sue a private investigator?
Yeah, I'd like to know that too, in case that cruise ship thing comes back to haunt me.
So I think the question here is, do private investigators have qualified immunity?
Now the question is, what is qualified immunity?
Glad you asked. Qualified immunity shields government officials, such as police officers, from being sued by people claiming that the officer violated their rights, except in cases where the official violated a clearly established statutory or constitutional right.
So you must have really messed up as a government official to be civilly sued.
Right, and qualified immunity protects government officials from civil lawsuits only, not from criminal prosecution, and does not protect the government itself from being found liable for the officer's actions.
Oy. So what does that mean for the private investigator who was hired to find out what really happened on that cruise ship?
So private investigators are not government officials. They're just regular old citizens. If you have a legitimate reason to sue, then you can.
So the short answer was yes?
Yeah, but wasn't this more interesting? Facebook user Rodney M asks, I have never been late on my rent and my landlady asked us to move out so she can move back. Is that legal? So I feel like there's a few pieces of information we need before we can say yes or no.
Did your landlady ask nicely?
No, not that. So in most states, landlords have to wait out a tenant's lease before moving in.
I feel but there are a few exceptions coming.
But there are a few exceptions.
I knew it.
Check your rental agreement for any special provisions like, you must move out if I want my place back. Landlords can sneak sketchy stuff in there sometimes, so always read your lease as thoroughly as possible.
What if I skimmed it really hard and I don't think there's any wacky provisions?
Then I'm curious about what type of lease it is. Is it year long? The landlady is probably going to have to wait. Month to month? That's where you might get screwed.
Screwed over by my landlord? In this economy? I'm shocked.
Usually in a month-to-month lease, your landlord can pretty much give any reason to kick you out, provided they gave at least 30 days notice.
Personally, I think my landlord should move in. Maybe then he'd fix my toilet.
All right, next question. And this one is off the record. Susan from Facebook asks, where are the best spots in California to take a date? Easy. Is there an outdoor patio section? I don't care what kind of food it is. If you can eat outdoors in the nice weather while still kind of being indoors, there. It's fun, romantic, breezy.
Wow, I was just gonna say Chinese.
Let's hope this next question is more legal. Anonymous Facebook user asks, I have a creepy question that I am very curious about. Is it legal to have sexual relationship with an animal? Only to be clear, I don't do it. What? How about you take this one, Mobbit Mike?
All I have to say is, this one time I was on a cruise ship, and then
I'm gonna stop you right there. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and take my advice, not his.
International waters, baby! No laws! Ha!